Thank you, sir. Sir, I request, Honorable Secretary, I request you to kindly present a memento to our speaker. With this, I request, keep the excitement building up, friends. We have a very exciting talk by our Antarikshyatri Shubhanshu Shukla ji. I request Principal Scientific Advisor Professor Sood to kindly chair this session, sir.
Namaskar. Good morning to all of you. Children, can you hear me? Okay, we'll start this first session. It's really a pleasure to welcome Group Captain Sudhanshu Shukla, who is not, who doesn't need introduction now. The whole India, rather the whole world knows him. I'll just say a few words as for introducing him. Group Captain Sudhanshu Shukla is an accomplished Indian Air Force fighter pilot, aerospace engineer, and one of India's first formally trained astronauts under ISRO's human space flight program. Sudhanshu Shukla, born in Lucknow and educated at National Defense Academy and Indian Institute of Science, my alma mater as well, he has built a remarkable career defined by discipline, skill, and scientific curiosity. With over 2,000 hours of flying experience on advanced aircrafts, including Su-30, MKI, and MiG-29, he distinguished himself as a test pilot and operational leader before being selected for India's Astronaut Training Corps. In 2025, he made history and made all of us proud as the first Indian astronaut to travel to the International Space Station, marking a defining moment in India's space journey and inspiring millions of young dreamers. Today, Group Captain Shukla represents a new generation of Indian explorers combining science, engineering, courage, and global collaboration, and stands as a powerful reminder that the boundaries of human achievement continue to expand when curiosity meets commitment. It's my pleasure to invite Group Captain Sudhanshu Shukla to give his address. Sudhanshu.
Good morning, everyone. I can't hear you. Can we have a louder cheer? The energy? Good morning, everyone, once again. Respected PSA, secretaries of various departments, all the eminent professors representing various institutes, the support team, media, and my dear children in the back. I'm very excited and happy to be here today. If you can hear me at the back, can you raise your hands? Okay, great. So, what I will do quickly is I will talk about my mission in a very short way form, and thereafter we will move on to some question answers that you would want to ask me. Okay? So before I start, let's see a quick movie. I don't know if all of you have seen this before, but this short movie tries to capture my journey, my mission, my training in the last year. And once we have done that, we will move on to the topic because for which we are here today, prosperity through science. So let us see this movie and we'll quickly move on to the presentation after that.
I think or feel about having the flag on my left shoulder, I just want Hungarian people to know that we did this. We were able to achieve this. And it completely doesn't matter for me who is in the suit. I am proud, but I just want them to be proud as well.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lift off.
Three nations, a new chapter in space takes place. Godspeed, explorer.
you conduct science. So this is what technology innovation does when you try to solve extremely complex problems. And historically, I think as a nation, we have always been very heavily focused on science. In 1975 and 76, site experiment was one of the very early experiments which was to spread education using satellites. This is 1975-76 we are talking about, and it remains the largest socially conducted educational experiment till date. I think we've lost the presentation. Just a second. Yeah, got it. And then with missions like, you know, INSAT, NAVIC, and the human space mission, the mission Gaganyaan that we are pursuing, I think we are furthering this idea. Last year when I was training, I was thinking about this issue, and when I was reading, I came across a fact that highlights how we treat science. I think India is the only country which has in its constitution as one of the fundamental duties to create scientific temper in the country. And that is the importance that we as a nation accord science. But let's move on to the mission now and see why it is so complex, it is so challenging. When I was going for launch, I was really confident, really prepared. I felt that I know everything because the training had been very exhaustive, very intense. But when the rocket engines ignite, when the Falcon 9 engines they ignite, everything you know, you just forget immediately. It goes right outside the window. And that is how different the actual scenario is. So when you develop something, when you create something, you don't have to just create the solution. You also have to think where it is going to be used, under what circumstances, under what situation. And that is what allows you to create these problems in the right way for the right user. So what are the solutions or challenges we have to navigate? So for all the people sitting in the front segment, and obviously the kids are behind, I don't think that they would be really interested in these problems that I'm talking about, but the problem, just if you just look at the launch, you have to solve how to save the crew if something goes wrong during this highly dynamic phase. You're going from 0 kilometers to 28,500 kilometers per hour in just about 8 minutes. And that is the kind of dynamism that it possesses. How do you save the crew when something goes wrong? How do you plan for recovery? You know, you can save the crew aboard, but you are going to land somewhere south of Australia, thousands of miles away from land. How do you get them back? The training should reflect that. The support team's training should reflect that. The communication should enable all these things. So it's not, it never really remains a simple problem. It becomes an extremely complex one. But once you finish all this, you reach space, and space is two things. It is very disorienting, but it is a lot of fun. When you get to space, you don't have an idea of up or down, left or right. It is, you just forget about it because there is no gravity. So even if you are upside down, you don't realize that. You think that wherever your head is the side that it is up. And the concept of space also changes. You don't really, in this big hall that we are sitting, it is a three-dimensional hall. But we don't use the 3D space, we use 2D. All of you are sitting on sofas, chairs, and you'll walk out on the floor. Nobody is walking on ceiling, nobody is walking on walls. And this is what is interesting about space. You can really use the 3D space. I remember my first day, I was supposed to be going across a module, and there was an astronaut working right in the center. And I saw her and I stopped, and I was waiting because I could not pass. And then this other astronaut comes to me and she asks me, why are you not going? And I said, because she's in the way. And this astronaut starts laughing, and she takes me by my hand, takes me to the ceiling and tells me, walk here. And then I started walking on the ceiling or walking on the walls. And that is how it changes, you know, your concept of how you utilize space when you get there. And the other thing is understanding of microgravity. You know, gravity is there, but it is not being perceived because everything is in a free fall. So if I was to leave this bottle of water it will stay here, it will not fall. But your mind doesn't know that. You have gone from Earth. So I would ask in the initial days, if I have to leave something, I would ask someone, can you please hold it for me? And then these are also first time flyers, they would also hold it. And they would be, everybody is floating, everybody is falling, but they would also hold this and stand next to me. Only after a few days you realize that it is not required. Something that you can see in this video.
कुछ चीजें माइक्रोग्रेविटी में बहुत
See how you can leave the cameras and let them be.
चलिए देखते हैं. आप किसी भी चीज को निकाल के ऐसे ही छोड़ सकते हैं.
So I'm sure some of you would have felt when I was leaving the lens that this will fall. This will go down. I had the same feeling in the initial few days. The problem, you get used to this. In around 7-8 days, you become really used to, you can leave things and everything is okay. But then it's time for you to come back. And when you come back to Earth, this doesn't work. You cannot leave things here on Earth, which I learned the hard way. I was working on a laptop the first night. I closed it, put it on the side, and I left it, thinking that it will float. Unfortunately, it did not. It fell down. But the mind is a really powerful tool. It makes you believe things which are not existing, which are not there. And that is the lesson that I learned. When you go there and when you come back, there are things that happens. Its environment is new, and your mind really takes time to get used to this. The other interesting concept is the concept of weightlessness. The International Space Station is a huge structure. It is about 100 meters long, actually the size of a football field. And it was not possible for us to make that if it was not for this concept of weightlessness. Because of weightlessness, it is possible for astronauts to lift heavy things and construct this entire thing. And again, somehow we have lost the presentation, but I will continue to explain the concept. There is only mass. There is no weight. There is no concept of weight. So I was traveling with this lady in an aeroplane, and when I told her this concept of there is no weight, she was extremely happy. She said, that is the place I need to go. I need to weigh myself in space when I get there. Because the momentum is to be controlled, but the huge structures, the huge payload racks, all of them as possible, you can lift them with one hand. You can move them around very slowly, very gradually. Okay, since we don't have the videos and the presentations, I would quickly move on to the last part, which is the recovery, when you come back. Oh, we got it back. So see this, how interesting this is, the concept of weight.
This bag, large bag.
This is a huge bag which is used to transport very heavy equipment or payload racks inside the station.
Careful though, because you have to control the mass,
You can lift it, but you have to be careful with the movement.
because it can get away from you.
And I will let you guess what is inside this bag that is as heavy as it looks like.
Oh, wow.
So that is about 250 kgs of weight that you're moving around in space very easily. It is just mass. You have to be careful. But this is a unique trait which allowed us to make the station in the first place. A lot of physiological changes happen. Your body has never seen this. You lose a lot of weight. Your muscles start getting degenerated. You have brain fog, headaches, nausea. You don't feel hungry because everything inside your stomach is also floating. So your stomach feels full all the time. You also grow taller in space by 5 to 10 centimeters. But the problem is that I was also very excited with this fact that, I can gain a few inches. But when you come back to Earth, you come back in height, so it is not a lasting change. But all of this forces you to find solutions of how to enable life in space. Similarly, there are a lot of psychological challenges that you have to address. Confined space, stressful environment. There is some alarm going on all the time, every time. And especially when we are talking about, going to Mars for a long duration missions, these are going to be very challenging problems that we need to solve. The other huge part, which a lot of you who are sitting here in the first section have contributed to, was science in space. For the first time, we were able to conduct microgravity research and bring back the data and analyze it. So more than the experiment itself, I think the learning of how to enable an experiment in microgravity was a huge win. So I'll quickly go over what we did. So a few of them. One, myogenesis, which is studying of how muscles degenerate and how to prevent it. This has also got uses on ground. And you can see my smile in the image on the left. This was the day when we were doing microscopy and we got really positive, encouraging results from what we were testing on board. So I was very happy. All the PIs who were sitting on ground were very happy. And we had a great laugh that day. The other experiments were growing cyanobacteria as an alternate source of nutrition for the crew, solving problems of food security. Then we also took seeds to see the effect of microgravity. They have been brought back and they will be evolved for 5 generations to see what are the changes that they go through when they experience microgravity. Then we also grew macroalgae again with the same intention of finding a possible source of nutrition for the crew and also on ground. You know, these are problems which are going to solve your food security problems. We also took moong and methi in space and see how interesting it is. The image on the right that you see, it is a wall of the station. It's a side wall. So there is no workbench required. You can carry out your experiment on the ceiling or on the wall, wherever you are. You just fix it with a Velcro, and that is your work desk, ready wherever you want it to be. We also studied tardigrades. They are known to be extremophiles, and we wanted to know what makes them survive these extreme environments. Can we learn from them? Can we devise a mechanism to protect crew on extremely long duration missions? And lastly, we also studied how to reduce the cognitive load on astronauts, especially when interacting with screens in the environment of microgravity. Along with this, I also participated in international experiments, which was brain-machine interface, audiometer evaluation, and astromental health. And this was the first time that brain-machine interface was carried out on board the International Space Station. So what happens when you conduct science? You know, one, you get a very unique perspective because the environment is very different. And the second, the bigger lesson I feel is when you enable an experiment in space, you learn this entire process, which is not simple. You have to prepare the samples, you have to load it into the rocket some 24 to 48 hours before, you have to have right temperature conditions, then you have to create the experiments in a way that it can be done in space because the environment is really different. And I think learning of this part was the biggest lesson for us, for the country. The agencies which are apart, the research institutions, and people from ISRO. I think we have learned this ecosystem, and now we know how to do it. So when you finish everything, and then there is time for you to come back, again, this time when you come back to Earth, your body has forgotten how it is to be on Earth. You don't even remember how to walk. I thought when I was landing that I know I was feeling good, so I thought I'll be able to walk. But when I took my first step, I was falling down. And then the second step, again, I was falling down. What has happened is that your mind has forgotten how much effort it takes for you to stand, walk, sit. It doesn't remember that. So it changes everything. This is me 2 hours after the splashdown. And look how I'm struggling to walk. The problem is not that you don't know, you don't have the strength. It is just that your mind has forgotten. You cannot walk, whatever you do. And it takes some time for you to get back, to get adjusted to this environment where you have been all along, grown, evolved in the environment of gravity. But just 20 days and you forget everything. Your body forgets everything. You have to relearn this environment. So lastly, what is the plan here? We already have mission Gaganyaan, Bharatiya Antariksha Station, and landing on the moon by 2040 laid down in Space Policy 2023. But this time when we go to moon, it is not going to be like 1960s. We will go to stay. We will have a sustained presence. And this will involve enabling of long duration space missions, development of key technologies. It is projected right now that by 2033, India's space economy only will grow to $44 billion. But that is based on the statistics that we have today. I have a feeling that it will be a higher figure than this. Because when you develop something for space, for moon, going for missions like this, you need to develop technology, you need to develop science, and you need to create a scientific and industrial infrastructure all around us. And everywhere I go, I talk about this, whether we talk about space or we talk about science or we talk about any field. Finally, at the end of the day, it is a collective national effort for the benefit of our country. And everybody is a part of it and everybody has to contribute to this. So why do we go there? We go there for upliftment of everyone. Like we said, we started out with this cause that the technology should be used for benefit of society, and we carry that even today. While I was on station, I interacted with children who were sitting in the back. Unfortunately, I can't see them eye to eye, but in my interaction, there was a kid from Northeast India who asked me a question. सर, भारत के नॉर्थ ईस्ट क्षेत्र के एक छोटे से गांव का बच्चा एस्ट्रोनॉट कैसे बन सकता है? And to me, that was such a big moment and such a big win that when he asked this question to me today, I don't answer back with hesitation. I have an answer. I know what the solution is. I can tell him, this is how you can become an astronaut in today's India. It is not a dream anymore, it is a reality. And this is not just with astronauts, this is with everything that we are doing and progressing as a nation. And the last statement that we said, the point that is there on the slide is Viksit Bharat 2047. And that is a dream that we have as a nation. That is an ambition. That is a goal that we have. But my call to every one of you who is sitting here, and even in the background, the kids who are sitting there, if you are listening, if you are hearing me, my call to you is that it is your responsibility to take India from here to being a developed nation by 2047, not anybody else's. It is my responsibility. It is your responsibility, each and every one of us. We have to own that, we have to believe that, and we have to contribute to this. With this, I end my presentation by showing to you that how bright India looks from space. And let us finish with that. It already looks very bright. And I'm not just saying literally because you see the lights. In all the sense, symbolically also, it looks really bright. So let us have a look how India looks from space. You would see India in the night. We will be passing over Bangalore, Hyderabad, and you will see New Delhi in the distance. You will also see flashes that will happen, which are essentially lightning happening. And then in the end, we will see a sunrise from space. Let us have a look at that. Can we dim the light, please? So this is emerging India. And you see the Bangalore city that is coming in the front, Hyderabad, Pune, and in the distance you see New Delhi. And look at the flashes that you have. These are all lightnings that are happening. And this is the sunrise. So when you look at this site 16 times a day in space in 24 hours, I cannot but say the lines that were said by our first Indian astronaut. ऊपर से भारत कैसा दिखता है? And even today I can say, सारे जहां से अच्छा. जय हिंद, जय भारत.
Hello.
Friends, you just heard a very inspiring talk. Let me see how do we have question answer session. So are there mics at the back? Are there mics at the back? People have mics to ask questions. So let me, yeah, if you have questions for Group Captain Sudhanshu Shukla, can you go to the mic and raise your question? आप सवाल पूछिए. Shubhanshu, okay, before you get warmed up, if any question from the front side, yes, पूछिए. चलें. Let me ask this question which the person from Northeast asked, because that question has come again and again. And I will like Shubhanshu to answer it explicitly. How do I become an astronaut?
How do you become an astronaut, sir?
Not me, but the young Ajay.
Yes, yes.
नहीं वहां से पूछिए सबको कुछ
हाँ, mic.
वहां नहीं आप नीचे जाइए नहीं तो सब आएंगे ऊपर ये जाए
I will share this, sir.
हाँ सवाल पूछिए
सर जी प्लीज ये बताइए कि जिस समय आप स्पेस स्टेशन में थे तो उस समय जब ये वेटलेसनेस को फील कर रहे थे तो आप उसको कैसे मैनेज करते हैं हाउ यू मैनेज एट द टाइम ऑफ वेटलेसनेस इन द स्पेस स्टेशन प्लीज टेल
शुरुआत में जब शुरुआत में आप कुछ मैनेज नहीं करते वो लैक ऑफ ग्रेविटी और स्टेशन ही आपको मैनेज कर रहा है आपके लिए सब कुछ नया है तो यू आर लर्निंग बाय एक्सपीरियंसिंग एवरीथिंग आप सीख रहे हैं एवरी डे तो चैलेंजिंग होता है शुरुआत में 2-3 दिन बिकॉज बॉडी को बहुत सारे चेंजेस लाइक यू सेड वेटलेसनेस है माइक्रोग्रेविटी है योर बॉडी हैज नेवर सीन दिस कभी देखा नहीं तो बहुत सारे चैलेंजेस होते हैं जो कि आप धीरे धीरे सीखते हैं यू डोंट फील गुड सिम्टम्स होते हैं हेडेक होता है नोजिया होता है और तो इसे आप 3 से 4 दिन में बॉडी गेट्स यूज टू दिस कॉन्सेप्ट और आपको मूवमेंट भी यू स्टार्ट लर्निंग एंड यू गेट यूज टू दिस बट इट टेक्स अबाउट 3 to 4 days 3 से 4 दिन लगते हैं थैंक यू
हेलो सर मैं ये आई वांट टू सजेस्ट यू बिकॉज स्टूडेंट्स आपसे मेन इंटरेक्शन करना चाहते हैं there are 10 houses of different scientist names
yes
if you have some time so kindly visit that houses so that a student can interact with you
okay thank you
that would be a good one
yes,
है ना
sure
thank
sure.
you
हेलो
सर आई हैव अ क्वेश्चन फॉर यू जैसा कि अभी हम लोग यंग जनरेशन है तो मुझे आपसे ये जानना है कि वो क्या वो एक मोमेंट था आपके लाइफ में जिसने आपको ट्रिगर किया एक एस्ट्रोनॉट बनने के लिए और आपको इस चीज के लिए कौन सी वो ऐसी चीज है जो आपको रोज मोटिवेट करती रहती है जो आपको ये पैशन देती है इस काम को करते रहने के लिए थैंक यू सो मच सर
थैंक यू मुझे लगता है जैसे ही 2018 में अनाउंसमेंट हुई थी जब हमारे ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने रेड फोर्ट से की थी कि बहुत ही जल्द भारत का कोई बेटा या बेटी स्पेस में जाएंगे तो आई थिंक वो मेरे लिए इनफ मोटिवेशन था एंड फॉर्चुनेटली मैं उस समय उस पोजीशन पे था जहाँ पे मैं अप्लाई भी कर सकता था तो मुझे लगता है दैट वाज गुड इनफ मोटिवेशन फॉर मी बट टू द सेकंड पार्ट nobody is motivated every day nobody is inspired every day so I think discipline is very important
हेलो
चाहे आप मोटिवेटेड हो या ना हो आपको काम करते रहना है थैंक यू
Hello, sir. I have one question from the back. Can I ask?
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you very much. You are India's pride. I have just 2 questions. What are the odd times you wear your suits, space suits? Did you wear all the times or what are the times and how did you communicate to your station on the earth? These 2 questions I have.
So you don't wear a spacesuit all the time. You wear it during the launch. When you get to orbit, you take off your spacesuit. You are not wearing your spacesuit all the time. And then during docking, undocking, and coming back, you again wear your spacesuit. So all the dynamic phases where there is a possibility of something going wrong, you wear the spacesuit because that is the last resort for safety. And communication, you have audio communication channels and you communicate through radio, through satellites. Thank you.
Hi, sir. Good morning, sir.
This is good.
Sir,
Loudly.
I'm Megha Bhardwaj from Bhavan.
सर माय क्वेश्चन इज दिस अगर मैं वैज्ञानिक बन जाऊँ तो मुझे क्या क्या करना चाहिए?
बहुत पढ़ाई करनी है आपको और बहुत खुश होकर पढ़ाई करनी है. आपको परेशान होकर पढ़ाई नहीं करनी है, ठीक है? अगर आपको वैज्ञानिक बनना, आप एक्चुअली यू पहले से वैज्ञानिक हैं, आप क्यूरियस माइंड है आपका, पता करना चाहते हैं आप, बस यू जस्ट हैव टू वर्क हार्ड. आप धीरे धीरे कोशिश करते रहिए, आप भी वैज्ञानिक बन जाएंगे. थैंक यू.
Sir, my question is, you are from Air Forces, but are the students from armed forces? अगर कोई armed forces से है, तो can they become the astronaut? And what is the procedure for that? Sir, hi. Hi, sir. I'm here, Megha Bhardwaj from Bhavan Vidyalaya, Panchkula. My question is that are the students from armed forces be eligible to be astronauts?
So,
अगर कोई armed forces से है.
right now पहला selection जो था, they restricted it to test pilots of Indian Air Force because prototype mission है. But future में जब भी ये कभी खुलेगा, so I am sure कि एक framework तैयार किया जा रहा है जिसमें ना ही केवल आर्म फोर्सेस के बल्कि बाकी भी डिसिप्लिन से लोग अप्लाई कर सकते हैं टू बी एन एस्ट्रोनॉट. एंड आई थिंक व्हेन इट विल बी रिलीज्ड, उसमें सारी इंफॉर्मेशन होगी कि आप कैसे अप्लाई कर सकते हैं और किस चैनल के थ्रू यू कैन बिकम एन एस्ट्रोनॉट. थैंक यू.
जी सर.
Hello, good morning, sir. I had a question that which life you like more in space or on the earth?
Life in space has to be created, beta. There is no life possible if we don't create life. So life is here on earth, but we have to create life in space. So both are good. Living here on earth is really good because here is where everyone is. But when we go to space and create life, we learn a lot of things. So I think that is why we should also try to do that. Thank you.
Hello.
सर एक क्वेश्चन यहाँ से है सर. एक बेंचर सर. सर वी आर हियर. या हाँ सर, एक्चुअली सर राकेश शर्मा सर से और सुधांशु शुक्ला जी तक आने में भारत को बहुत समय लग गया. तो सर हम क्या उम्मीद करें कि जब आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी 2047 में विकसित भारत की संकल्पना लेके चल रहे हैं, तो हमें तब तक कितने और सुधांशु शुक्ला और राकेश शर्मा जी मिल जाएंगे? और सर भारत को किन क्षेत्रों पे जो है काम करने की आवश्यकता है ताकि सुधांशु जी मिले?
देखिए, इस बार मैं बहुत ही कॉन्फिडेंटली आपको ये बोल सकता हूँ कि हमें उतने साल नहीं लगेंगे जितने साल हमें पहली बार लगे, क्योंकि हमारा खुद का ह्यूमन स्पेस मिशन है. गगनयान मिशन ऑलरेडी चल रहा है. तो इस बार आपको ये नाम जो है याद है ना आपको? हमें भी याद है, मुझे भी याद था. एक विंग कमांडर राकेश शर्मा गए थे और अभी सबको मेरा नाम याद हो गया. बट बहुत ही जल्द ऐसा होने वाला है कि हम याद नहीं कर पाएंगे. इतने लोग अंतरिक्ष में जाएंगे कि हम उनकी सबकी लिस्ट में हम सबका नाम याद नहीं कर पाएंगे. तो ये होगा, ज़रूर होगा, बहुत जल्दी होगा. और मुझे लगता है कि विज्ञान को परस्यू करने से जो उन्नति का मार्ग है वो बहुत साफ हो जाता है, क्लियर हो जाता है, और कोई तरीका नहीं है. तो इसके ऊपर जो ये कॉन्फ्रेंस भी हो रही है, इसी चीज़ पे फोकस कर रही है. तो मेरा ये आग्रह है कि आप लोग भी एक्साइटेड रहें इस चीज़ को लेके और एक्टिवली कंट्रीब्यूट करें इस डायरेक्शन में. थैंक यू.
सर जैसे आपने बोला था आप मेथी लेके गए थे, तो वो स्पेस में उगी थी?
हाँ बिल्कुल उगी थी. स्प्राउट्स थे और वो बहुत अच्छे से उगे थे.
ओके सर, कैन यू एवर स्केट ड्यूरिंग द मिशन? बिकॉज डर तो सबको लगता है.
जी बिल्कुल, मौके होते हैं कई बार जब आप कुछ चीज़ें ऐसी होती हैं जो पहली बार आप देखते हैं, या कुछ ऐसा नया होता है जो आपने सोचा नहीं होता है. बट लाइफ की स्किल ही यही है कि आप कैसे काम करते हैं जब आपको डर लग रहा है. जब आपको डर लगते हुए भी आप कैसे आगे बढ़ते हैं और कैसे उस चीज़ को एकम्प्लिश करते हैं. आई थिंक वही एक स्किल है जो हमें आनी चाहिए. तो हाँ, मौके होते हैं जब आपको डर लगता है, लेकिन फिर आप बढ़ के फिर भी वो काम करते हैं और एंड में देखिए सब हो ही जाता है, अच्छे से हो जाता है. थैंक यू.
सर रॉकेट में बैठते समय डर लगा? रॉकेट में बैठते समय डर लगा?
नहीं, एक्चुअली बैठते समय तो नहीं लगा, बिकॉज ट्रेनिंग इतनी एक्सटेंसिव होती है कि आपको सब ये मालूम होता है. तो इट इज़ वेरी फेमिलियर टू यू. थैंक यू.
Hi sir, I am Tejas Mittal. I am very fascinated from your journey. I have only one question. Who inspired you to become an astronaut?
हमारे पहले एस्ट्रोनॉट विंग कमांडर राकेश शर्मा जो गए थे स्पेस में, जैसे आप अभी देख रहे हैं, वैसे जब मैं आपकी एज का था तो मैं उनके बारे में पढ़ रहा था, तो उन्होंने बहुत इंस्पायर किया मुझे जाने के लिए. थैंक यू.
Sir, I am Yan from Chitkara International School, Panchkula. Sir, I wanted to ask you, what does it take to be an astronaut, and how much time does it take?
यू हैव टू ईट वेल. आपको खाना अच्छे से खाना है, जो मम्मी पापा आपको बताएंगे, ठीक है. आपको पढ़ाई अच्छे से करनी है मन लगा के, और आपको खेलना है फिजिकली, ठीक है. बस 3 चीज़ें करनी है और आप पहुंच जाएंगे और आप एस्ट्रोनॉट बन जाएंगे. बस इतनी 3 चीज़ें, और कुछ नहीं, ठीक है.
Yeah, welcome to Chandigarh, sir. Sir, how did your view of life changes after this mission?
एक मिनट नहीं, सब छीन लेंगे, यहीं से करना.
द पर्सपेक्टिव इज वेरी डिफरेंट. जब आप प्लैनेट के बाहर जाते हैं और आप बाहर से अर्थ को देखते हैं, तो एक फीलिंग ऑफ वननेस विच कम्स दैट कि ये प्लैनेट हमारा घर है, दिस एंटायर प्लैनेट इज योर होम. दैट इज वेरी स्ट्रांग. सो that causes a shift in your perspective of how you see life here. And the second thing is earth is massive, बहुत बड़ी है, और उतने बड़े स्केल पे जब आप चीज़ों को देखते हैं तो फिर लगता है कि जितनी इम्पोर्टेंस हम अटैच करते हैं चीज़ों को या अपने आप को या किसी काम को, आई थिंक उसका मतलब नहीं रह जाता. दैट insignificance becomes very important. Thank you.
गुड आफ्टरनून सर. सर, देयर इज वन क्वेश्चन. जैसे अभी आपने कहा सारे जहां से अच्छा हिंदुस्तान हमारा. सर, व्हाट इज द मोस्ट स्ट्राइकिंग थिंग यू विल सी इन स्पेस दैट चेंज योर पर्सपेक्टिव ऑन अर्थ एंड आवर प्लेस इन द यूनिवर्स?
Like I was telling her, 2 things. You know, when you look at India from space, it really is very beautiful. मतलब I'm not just saying it क्योंकि हम सब यहाँ बैठे हैं और हम सब इंडिया में हैं, बट आप किसी से भी बात करेंगे तो वो एक बहुत ही अलग फीलिंग है. और स्पेशली एज एन इंडियन व्हेन यू फ्लाई ओवर, जब आप उसके ऊपर से जाते हैं, तो इट इज़ नॉट जस्ट बिकॉज वो सुंदर दिखता है, बल्कि आपको बहुत सारे, इट इज़ वेरी इमोशनल जब आप उस चीज़ को देखते हैं. बट मोर देन दैट, जब आप पृथ्वी को बाहर से देखते हैं, वो आपका दृष्टिकोण बदल देता है, वो आपका पर्सपेक्टिव चेंज कर देता है. बिकॉज वो एक ऐसा व्यू है कि यू कैन नॉट, आपको कभी देखने को नहीं मिलेगा ऐसे जब तक आप वहाँ जाएंगे नहीं. तो आई थिंक इट इज़ वेरी यूनिक, वेरी डिफरेंट, एंड दैट कॉजेज अ वेरी बिग शिफ्ट. थैंक यू.
गुड आफ्टरनून सर.
सर, यहाँ से पीछे से, सर यहाँ से. सर, हम आई एम द गवर्नमेंट स्कूल टीचर, president medal awardee teacher. Then how can I mold the students in my school level to become future astronaut? Then what measures? Because in the childhood, how you got the inspiration?
देखिए, मुझे लगता है कि बच्चे तो बहुत एक्साइटेड हैं, बहुत इंटरेस्टेड भी हैं. मुझे लगता है कि आपको भी एक्साइटमेंट दिखाना पड़ेगा एज अ टीचर. अगर आप एक्साइटेड रहेंगे, आप भी एंथुजियाज्म दिखाएंगे इन चीज़ों को लेके, बढ़ चढ़ के इनके बारे में बातें करेंगे, उनको इंस्पायर करेंगे, वो अपने आप आपको देख के फॉलो करेंगे और आगे जाएंगे. और मुझे लगता है बहुत बड़ी जिम्मेदारी है आपके ऊपर. इट इज़ अ वेरी बिग रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी जो आपके ऊपर है कि आपको उनको पहुंचाना है वहां तक. थैंक यू.
Good afternoon,
Good
sir.
afternoon, sir.
My question is, how was your sleep in the space? How comfortable it was, and how do you wake up, and how do you decide your sleeping time?
So there is, you cannot use natural light for sleeping. So it is, we follow GMT on station. So based on time you sleep. Sleeping was very comfortable क्योंकि आप essentially आप हवा में सो रहे हैं. There is no bed. बल्कि वहाँ पे सोने के बाद जब मैं वापस आया और मैं अपने हमारे जो सॉफ्ट मेमोरी फोम कुशन मैट्रेस होते हैं उस पर जब मैं पहली बार लेटा, तो मुझे बहुत हार्ड लगा, बहुत ही ज़्यादा. तो आई थिंक दैट इज़ द डिफरेंस, बिकॉज एसेंशियली वहाँ पे देयर इज़ नथिंग, यू आर स्लीपिंग इन एयर. आप स्लीपिंग बैग में जाते हैं और यू हैव टू टाई योरसेल्फ और आप हवा में सोइए. थैंक यू.
Good afternoon, sir. I wanted to ask that did yoga help you to survive the space, and did it help you to correct the sleeping cycle that you are facing during your space flight?
I think yoga generally also helps. You know, you don't have to go to space to correct all this. Yoga.
Just generally, like what was your experience after
Yes.
doing yoga? Because you have mentioned it in your video and also.
Yes, yes. But
media.
it is not that you do yoga in space. Like you have to do yoga continuously throughout. And I think generally it helps you balances things. It generally helps you to have a good, stable mind and to have, you know, a calm demeanor. So हर चीज़ में मदद करता है. तो especially space travel में भी जब कुछ challenging situations आती हैं, तो yoga definitely helps over a period of time. But when you do it sustained way, you know, लंबे समय तक. Thank you.
Sir, as you now went space, and NASA help you a lot. You had a vigorous training.
Let us speak.
So,
Let us finish.
at what points India is lacking behind, and India needs to improve so that it can build its own means system, so it can train our astronauts in India itself, and how are their experience in space.
So we are already there, beta. We have a astronaut training facility. मैं वहीं पे ट्रेन करता हूँ. I train at India's astronaut training facility. और very soon we will have somebody going from India on an Indian rocket, on an Indian capsule through mission Gaganyaan to space, and will be coming back. So we are almost there, just a few years. और आप देखेंगे कि यहीं से कोई जाएगा. और जब तक आप बड़े होंगे तब तक तो बहुत सारे लोग जा चुके होंगे. आपके पास भी मौका होगा. Thank you.
Sir, good afternoon. Actually, sir, I'm a school teacher. And on the behalf of students.
This is the last. Good afternoon, sir. I'm Anjali Sharma from Bhavan Vidyalaya, Panchkula. I have a question that how you maintain the temperature. As you said, like you have to it takes 3 to 4 days for you, for your body as well, कि उसके साथ cope up करने में. If you are wearing the suit there, like without that, how you manage this thing?
Inside the station, the environment is artificially created and it is artificially controlled. So temperature is also maintained, oxygen contents are also maintained, carbon dioxide levels are also contained. So this is the biggest system that needs to be developed for human space missions, which is known as environmental control and life support system. This is what maintains the temperature and environment inside. And your body temperature is regulated with this atmosphere.
Sir, good afternoon. Sir, which thing inspire you most to become an astronaut?
आप लोगों को excitement.
Okay, sir.
इसको देख के आप बताइए, आपका मन नहीं कर रहा है जाने का? आप भी
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
देखिए.
Actually, sir, I'm a school teacher, and on the behalf of students, I am asking, means which thing they have to do to become an astronaut?
नहीं, I think they are already excited. Like I said, वो already excited हैं. आपको भी वो excitement दिखाना है, वो और वो बस सही दिखाए हुए रास्ते पे they will all automatically reach there. Thank
Sure,
you.
sir. Sure.
Hello, sir. What was your feeling when you was in space?
Sorry.
हेलो सर, मेरा एक क्वेश्चन है. मैं श्रद्धा गुप्ता हूँ.
Hello, sir. What was your feeling when you was in space?
बेटा, a lot of feelings. 20 days, 20 दिन थे हम वहाँ पे, तो बहुत सारी feeling. But if I have to tell you one thing, I was very proud to be there. Thank you.
सर, मेरा ये प्रश्न है कि जिस तरह हम चंद्रमा पर जाकर बहुत सारे नवीन खोज कर रहे हैं, क्या भारत को ये ऐसी तकनीक विकसित कर रहा है कि सूर्य तक या उसके करीब जाकर हम उसके बारे में भी खोज कर पाएं?
आपको शायद पता होगा कि भारत ने ऑलरेडी अपना एक मिशन सूर्य के पास उसके ऊपर रिसर्च करने के लिए भेजा है, आदित्य L1, जो कि सूर्य के ऊपर ही खोज कर रहा है. तो हम करने नहीं वाले हैं, हमने ऑलरेडी किया है, ये ऑलरेडी एक मिशन लॉन्च किया हुआ है. थैंक यू.
Hello, good morning, sir. Myself Arav Agrawal. I am from Meena International Public School, UP. Sir, my question is that what is the difference between the life of Earth and the life of space?
Life on Earth is automatic. It is there all around us. We don't have to create anything. In space, life cannot exist. We have to create an environment to sustain life. And that is why it is challenging and it is difficult. तो हमें बनाना पड़ता है स्टेशन, कैप्सूल, इस तरह की चीजें, ताकि उसके अंदर हम लाइफ सस्टेन कर सकें. Thank you.
So I think we will close this session. You will have enough time to surround him later. So let us all give him a very standing applause to Shubhanshu Shukla. Sorry. And we are very proud of him, and we hope that we will have many more astronauts going to space. Thank you.
Hello. Yeah. With this, I request Professor Sood to kindly felicitate our speaker, Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla, for that exciting talk. हमारा ये रोमांच आगे भी पंडाल्स में जहाँ पे वो बच्चों से इंटरैक्ट करेंगे जारी रहेगा। इसके साथ मैं कहना चाहूंगी कि मन में अगर सपने नहीं होते तो हम कभी चांद पर नहीं होते। हरियाणा के राज्य कवि की इन पंक्तियों द्वारा मैं हमारे आज के वक्ता का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करती हूँ कि वे आज हमारे बीच में उपस्थित हुए और यहाँ पे नवाचार को बच्चों के बीच में, छात्रों के बीच में नवाचार को बढ़ावा दिए। Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. We'll shortly begin the inaugural ceremony of IISF. We are eagerly waiting for